This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Family appeals for return of missing teen. Relatives of 15-year-old Jodian Hales are hoping for her safe return. The student of Edwin Allen High School in Clarendon was last seen sometime after 3:30 p.m. on March 11 while on her way home. Her father, Howard Hales, says he is at his wit's end. A lady saw her when she turned on Lampard Road to go home, and she say she watched her as she bent the corner till she couldn't see her anymore. After that, she don't know what happened. Since then, me walk out the place I look for her and can't find her, he told the news on Tuesday. Hales said the teen's mother called him later that evening after realizing that their daughter had not come home from school. Her mother got to check on the road and not see her, and she go report it to the Frankfield police, and all know I don't hear anything of her, he said. He wanted the police to do more to help him find his child. It's more than 24 hours now and me no see or hear anything in the media, and them get the report with a photo of her. After me and the police go Carty Hill after 7:30 the other night, me no hear back from them. Me go Desire Lampard all about on foot, and there is no sign of her. Me search the riverbed, me no know where else we go and still can't locate her, he told the news. The Frankfield police have confirmed that a missing persons report had been filed. One lawman who spoke on condition of anonymity said the young girl had run away from home before but declined to provide further details. For now, her father says the rest of the family is having a hard time coping with her absence. Her mother not eating and she not well. All she do is cry. We're not keeping up, he said. When last seen, Jodian Hales was wearing a light blue school uniform, black shoes, and carrying a blue backpack. She is tall, slim, and of dark complexion. Woman dies after being hit by bus in St. James. A woman is dead after she was hit by a bus along the Rose Hall Main Road in St. James Tuesday night. She has been identified as Esmeralda Russell of a Jarrett Street address in Montego Bay. She is suspected to be around 60 years old. Reports coming forward are that about 8:45 p.m., Russell was attempting to cross the road in the vicinity of the Holiday Inn Hotel when she was struck by the vehicle. She was subsequently rushed to hospital, but later died from the injuries she sustained. The police are investigating. Golden rehashes promise to end the need for SLB guarantor. Opposition leader Mark Golden has promised that the next People's National Party government will remove the Student Loan Bureau's requirement that borrowers provide guarantors. Mr. Golden, who was making his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, said this would not affect the operations of the entity. When the Public Accounts Committee last looked at the Student Loan Bureau, we found that the amounts recovered from guarantors are in fact quite small in the scheme of things. This tells us that the retention of this requirement of a guarantor is not necessary for the sustainability of the institution as a lender, he declared. Mr. Golden has also proposed a Fresh Start program under which the SLB would forgive $7.5 billion in accrued loan interest and penalties in light of the hardships caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. This, he said, would cost the Student Loan Bureau nothing additional, as these amounts have already been provided for over the last 5 financial years in the Student Loan Bureau's annual income statement. Mr. Golden argued that a fresh start would remove any bad credit rating from students and give them a chance to build a better future as they step forward in their adult lives.
When the Public Accounts Committee last looked at the Student Loan Bureau, we found that the amounts recovered from guarantors are in fact quite small in the scheme of things. This tells us that the retention of this requirement of a guarantor is not necessary for the sustainability of the institution as a lender. The PNP government, when next in office, will abolish altogether the requirement of finding a guarantor to access student loans. This would cost the Student Loan Bureau nothing additional, as these amounts have already been provided for over the last 5 financial years in the Student Loan Bureau's annual income statements. A fresh start would remove any bad credit rating from these students. It would give them a chance to build a better future as they step forward in their adult lives.
Man jailed for slapping another man in the face at a police station. A man was jailed Tuesday after admitting to slapping another man in the face at a corporate area police station. According to court documents, 57-year-old Richard Cunningham was charged on Tuesday, March 15, with assault occasioning bodily harm after he hit George Brown while the latter was being processed for unlawful wounding in the guardroom in the Halfway Tree police station following an earlier altercation between the two men. It was revealed that around 10:35 a.m. on Tuesday, officers from the Constant Spring police station escorted Brown to the Halfway Tree police station. While Brown was being processed, police officers witnessed Cunningham enter the guardroom and slap Brown, who later complained of feeling pain in his face. Cunningham was subsequently charged and appeared later in the day before Senior Parish Judge Lorian Cole Montague at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Upon hearing Cunningham's guilty plea and explanation that he wasn't thinking clearly, Cole Montague informed him that he was to stay the night in jail as part of his punishment. He is to return to court Wednesday for sentencing. That was a security risk. Brown could have used the opportunity to run. Everybody had can't had so, Cole Montague said as she chastised Cunningham. After learning that he will be spending the night in jail, Cunningham proceeded to ask the judge for mercy. "Your Honor, please," he begged, clasping his hand pleasingly. Denying his plea for mercy, Cole Montague said, "I don't take pleasure in doing certain things." However, she explained that she had to teach him a lesson because of the level of lawlessness present in the corporate area. "It shows a complete disregard for the uniform," Cole Montague chided him once more, seemingly in disbelief that Cunningham committed such an act in the presence of police. Opposition leader urges government to do more to cushion impact of rising prices. Opposition leader Mark Golding has stepped up the pressure for the government to do more to cushion the effects of rising prices on Jamaicans, calling for an additional $40 billion in public spending. Making his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday afternoon, Mr. Golding warned the government against being too fiscally conservative. He said the country is on the brink of a crisis with dark days ahead for Jamaicans, while the budget offers no real solutions.
The high inflation that consumers have endured over the past year is only going to get worse. Jamaicans will face higher prices for basic food items, for electricity, for water, because of the high electricity content in the production of water, and of course, transportation. This tidal wave of higher prices will flow through to other items as well. Mothers will struggle to feed their children. More children will face hunger and malnutrition. Even those who are working will not be able to make ends meet. The negative social impact of continued excessive fiscal conservatism when we're in a crisis will do lasting damage to the society. I would support additional expenditures of up to 2% of GDP to address the critical needs facing the society. That's about $40 billion. It is time to focus on helping our people. It is not the time for excessive fiscal conservatism. The government is playing with fire by leaving vulnerable populations unprotected in this vortex of high inflation and the unbearable cost of living. We are proposing that for the duration of the inflation crisis, the government caps the ad valorem SCT on fuel at an oil price of $67.50 US per barrel, and also the equivalent for the price of LNG, so that prices of those crucial commodities that go above the budgeted price do not result in higher taxes on fuel.
3 boys accused of beating man to death in St. Elizabeth offered a bail. 3 boys who were charged with the murder of 62-year-old fisherman Delroy Walters at his home in Crawford, St. Elizabeth 3 weeks ago were each offered a $300,000 bail when they appeared in the Children's Court on Thursday. The boys, whose ages range from 13 to 17, are to report to Black River Police Station once weekly. The other two accused, who are 11 years old, were remanded to a place of safety. They were charged with being in need of care and protection. The 5 boys will return to court on May 12. It was reported that on February 22, they attacked Mr. Walters after he objected to them walking through his property. They allegedly used a shovel, sticks, and stones to beat Mr. Walters, who died at Black River Hospital. Green Pond clamors for more police patrols after double murder. A double murder in Green Pond, St. James on Monday has triggered outrage, sparking calls for increased police patrols in the western Jamaica community. Those killed have been identified as 19-year-old O'Neill Thelwell, otherwise called CJ, unemployed of Bridgetown in Green Pond, and another man identified as Junior Thorpe of a Salt Spring address. Reports by the Mount Salem police are that about 10 p.m., both men were in a section of Green Pond called Sharon Hill when they were ambushed by gunmen and shot multiple times. They were pronounced dead at hospital. A concerned resident who gave his name only as Ricketts said that he believes that Thelwell may have got caught up in the wrong company. He has called for a beef up of security to calm community affairs. Since the start of the year, enough shooting and murder going in our community. And me think a full time we start see the police them in here a 9 time, he said in a news interview. The area hot and enough youth are dead. We want to see the police drive through more often and even do a little foot patrol. Meanwhile, a senior police officer who requested anonymity because he is not authorized to speak about investigations told the news that detectives theorize that the killings are gang-related. These men that are involved, or even some of the victims, are in one way or another connected to gang violence. Sometimes it's not directly them themselves, sometimes it's a closer family member or a close friend, but it always leads back to gang violence, the cops said. Thorpe's and Thelwell's deaths bring to 3 the number of persons murdered in St. James over the past 4 days. There have been 51 murders in 2022. Their slaying follows Saturday's discovery of the bullet-riddled body of an unidentified male in Mount Salem. Reports are that about 3:55 p.m., citizens alerted the police after hearing gunshots on Phoenix Drive in the Westgate Hills area. The 5 feet 7 inches body of the unidentified man, who appeared to be in his 50s, was clad in a green and a gray striped shirt and a blue jeans pants. There was a gunshot wound to the head. Jamaican extradited to the U.S. on lottery scamming charges. A Jamaican man has been extradited to the United States to face lottery scamming charges. The U.S. Embassy on Monday afternoon disclosed that the man, who is identified as Romario Murray, was wanted by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service on a federal warrant for mail and wire fraud. The embassy said the indictment against Mr. Murray alleges his involvement in a lottery scamming syndicate that defrauded multiple victims. The individuals were scammed US $300,000. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.